ಶ್ರದ್ಧಸ್ವತಾತ ಶ್ರದ್ಧಸ್ವಾಂ ನಾತ್ರ ಮೋಹಂ ಕುರುಷ್ವ ಭೋಃ ಜ್ಞಾನಸ್ವರೂಪೋ ಭಗವಾನ್ ಆತ್ಮಾ ತ್ವಂ ಪ್ರಕೃತೇಃ ಪರಃ. This is the occasion to rise to the occasion. Because never be indifferent to Shastram. Indifference to so many things in life, it's a kind of a luxury also. Indifference gives you some comfort. Chodo. Chhad yaar also gives you comfort. In fact, indifference does give you a lot of comfort. But Shastra is not the context in which you should show any indifference. Be diligent in the Shastra. In the rest of life, you don't have to be greatly diligent. It's a wastage. If you are greatly diligent in business, you will make little more money. There's nothing great about it. Man can be even sleepy throughout life, but while studying Vedanta, wake up. Yes. Wake up when you are studying Vedanta. The rest of the time, even if you are sleepy, what is the loss, Ji? If you can afford to be sleepy, why not? If your ancestors have left some money for you to survive on, you can just live sleepily. And therefore, sleepiness is not a setback in the rest of the life, but sleepiness is definitely a setback while studying the Shastra. It's definitely a setback. Therefore, Shraddhasva, have Shraddha. Tata, son, Shraddhasva. Natra moham kurushva bhoho. Don't be confused in this matter. Don't be indifferent in this matter. Don't have any illusions, that is, confusions about what Shastra says, that the truth is not outside you or inside you. The truth is you. It's a very big thing. One's existence is the truth. One's being is the truth. Therefore, the identity, the status of oneself as the truth is true, and therefore all other statuses of oneself, means all other labels, are false. Including pramatritvam, sakshitvam, everything goes. The swarupa of all of them is, the label may be false, but its swarupam is true. Your being a son may be false, but your being conscious is true. Labels can be falsified, but the one who assumes the label is the truth. The one who assumes the label is the truth, and he is not false. Because for the one who assumes the label is the truth. Label doesn't assume another label, no. You don't use the jar to make the pot. You use the clay to make the pot. Therefore, every label is assumed by the truth. Therefore, your status as the truth is reality, whereas your status as something else is only a label. You don't have a double status. Don't be confused. This is the time, this is the occasion when you need to use all your reasoning. Jnana Swarupaha. You are really of the nature of conscious being. Of the nature of knowledge means of the nature of being conscious. Please don't imagine knowledge again, you start imagining knowledge. That you are aware to be and to be evident to be and to be aware to be is Jnana Swarupa. Sat is not different from Chit, and Chit is not different from Anantam or Anandam. Sat is to be, Chit means to be evident to be. Ananda means to be evident to be is unlimited, is the truth. Because action is limited, perception is limited, all of them are kartrutvam is limited, but akartrutvam is unlimited. To be is unlimited. To be. A mountain has a size, a dot is unlimited. It's kind of a dot. See, they say, in mathematics, the dot doesn't occupy space. That kind of dot. A dot that occupies no space is unlimited. And dot means actually it is being, to be, to be, to be. And therefore, Jnana Swarupaha, don't mysticize it. The word Jnana Swarupa, don't mysticize it. The word Jnana Swarupaha means that you are evidently a conscious, the one who is aware of everything. That phenomenon of being aware is not an ordinary thing. One gives attention to the pleasure, pain, enjoyment, objects, but he never gives attention to the fact that he is the light. He is aware. I am aware of the universe, but the universe is not aware of me. That is Viveka. Seeing this contrast. I am aware of the sun is not aware of me. The truth is aware of the creation is not aware of the truth. The truth is aware of the mind is not aware of the truth. That is why, it is said, God sees everything, nothing sees him. Yes. He is Sarva Sakshi, but there is no Sakshi of Bhagavan. Bhagavan sees everything, but nothing sees Bhagavan. Meaning he is aware of everything, and all that he is aware of is inert, and it cannot be aware of Bhagavan. Jnana Swarupaha, you are a conscious being. Look at the phenomenon of your being aware. That should strike you. Body cannot be aware. Body is not aware of its own existence. Thoughts are not aware of their own existence. There is a conscious being who is aware of the thought. Even when he equates himself with the thought, thinkerness, but his conscious identity is not diminished. His conscious identity is not lost. Despite the truth's error about itself, the truth doesn't lose its status as the truth, as conscious. The water identifies itself as a wave, but it doesn't lose its identity as water. Therefore, reflect on your conscious identity. Even what they call unconsciousness it is a thought in the waking state. We think unconscious state. You don't experience unconsciousness, please. Absence of consciousness is never experienced. Absence Absence of consciousness is thought. Like you don't experience death. You only think at death in life. You only think of death. But when actually death takes place, you don't experience that I am dead, etc. You are free from the thoughts of life and death. That is truth. Death is not an experience. Unconsciousness is not an experience. Even subconscious state, unconscious state, unmanifest state, these are not experiences, these are all thoughts. Man thinks, man speculates about them. But otherwise there is no experience, Ji. You don't experience the absence of your friend. You only think of the absence of your friend. Absence is never experienced. Therefore, you don't experience absence, you think of it. Death you don't experience. Deep sleep state as one of the three states is never experienced. Deep sleep state as an unconscious state is not an experience. The idea of being aware of something, the idea of the presence of something, the idea of the absence of something, you are free from. The dichotomy you are free from. Dichotomy is a thought. Dichotomy is never an experience. In the deep sleep state, you are free from. To be free from dichotomy means to be free. To be, but free from dichotomy. It's not a state of just absence of dichotomy. It is a state of, you can never come across absence of something. You only come across your existence free from something. It is just not possible. It is like you come across a pot. It is your existence with a thought of pot. And in the deep sleep state, you are existent free from the thought of pot. Not that you are with the thought of the absence of the pot. That is being really the height of stupidity. Yes. If we want to peak in stupidity, somebody wants, all my students are great, but if somebody wants to peak in stupidity, he has to say sleep is a state in which you are having a thought of the absence of the world. Is it true? No? And therefore, there is no such a thing. Coming across absence of something, you are always coming across yourself. Either you experience your existence with the thought of the pot, thought of the world, or you experience your existence, you experience your own presence free from the thought of the world. Not that you are with the thought of the absence of the world. There is no thought of the absence of the world. That you are only free from the thought of the world. And freedom, it is presence, your presence free. And therefore you can never come across something else presence. If you come across something else presence, then what about you? You are also present there. Is it a double presence? When you are awake, it is you are experiencing your presence with the thought of the waking. In the dream, it is experiencing, you are being there with the thought of the dream. In the deep sleep state, you are there, free from the thought of the waking, free from the thought of the dream, rather than with the thought of the absence. ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Thus, absence you don't experience. Nor do you experience presence of something else. When you are experiencing the world, it means you are experiencing your existence with a thought of the universe, with a perception of the world. Don't say, in the waking I experience the waking, the presence of the waking. In the dream I experience the presence of the dream. In the deep sleep state I experience the absence of everything. It's wrong. It is really simply moha. It is a mediocre confusion. It's not even smart confusion. It's a very mediocre, sluggish confusion. Third-rate confusion. Therefore, what is it? You never experience anything other than yourself. It is your presence. As a waker, you are experiencing your presence, not with the world, with the thought of the world, with the sense of the world, with the perception of the world. In the dream, you are experiencing your presence. You are all the time being there. You are being with an abhas of the dream. You are being there with the abhas of the waking. You are being there in the deep sleep state without any abhasa. It is non-dual, anubhava. Therefore, jnana swarupaha you are. Bhagavan, you are Bhagavan ji. He says, aap Bhagavan hai. Therefore, if somebody says, aap to Bhagavan hai, then of course. Yes, of course, Bhagavan hai. तो समझने की बात है. How can I be Bhagavan, etc. Say, if you think logically, Bhagavan ka matlab, see, we carry a definition of Bhagavan as a big man, a man of magic, a man of jadoo, an individual who can lift Govardhan. I can't climb stairs. How can I be Bhagavan? Vagara. One has to discern between the body which has some energy. Body is limited. Thinking is limited. Emotions are limited. Age is limited. But existence is not limited. Even if you have 1,000 wrappings around existence, existence remains existence. Even if there are 1,000 wrappings around water, the water remains water. Even if the water thinks, I am a bubble, wrapped up in a water, wrapped up in a wave, and again wrapped up in a tidal wave, etc., etc., breaker, etc., bigger wave. I say the water remains water. Confusion over confusion doesn't change the fact. Confusion over confusion doesn't change the fact. Therefore, if you judge yourself physically, yes, you are an individual. If you judge yourself that I am only a feeler, you are a jiva. If you judge yourself as a thinker, you are a jiva. As a form, jiva. As having a beginning and an end, jiva. But if you judge yourself as being, a karta, conscious being, then you are Bhagavan. Because there cannot be any gradation in being, please. There can be gradation in thinking and feelings and physicality, etc. Therefore, jnana swarupaha, Bhagavan, aap Atma hai. You are the Jagat Karanam and you are also the seer of the Jagat. As the seer of the Jagat, you are Atma. As the Karanam of Jagat, Bhagavan. These are the two things you have to think of. The very seer of the Jagat is the Karanam. The seer of the dream is the Karanam. The seer of the waking is the Karanam. What is it that is not understood by man? He understands that he is the seer, but coupled with the form. Yes, I am aware. Everybody understands. Yes, I am aware. I am aware is true, but I am a body. I am a form, but I am also aware. I am a form when he says, he is referring to an error. He doesn't know. When he says, I am aware, that is a statement of fact. So even when he thinks he is a form, he doesn't cease to be aware. Therefore, as the seer of the universe, he is Atma. And he is also the source. Where is it evidenced that it is the source? In the deep sleep state, the waking begins right in the non-dual self. The sleep as non-dual self. Because the anubhava of the sleep is the non-dualness. Freedom from dichotomy, freedom from the idea of the waking, freedom from the idea of the dream, and freedom from the idea of the absence of both. You don't think of the absence. You think of the absence in the waking, but you don't experience the waking. Experience the absence. Nobody experiences the abhava. Man always analyzes wrongly the anubhava as anubhava of the object and anubhava of the absence of the object. I say the waking is I am experiencing the object. ठीक है जी? In the dream we are experiencing the object. All right ji? In the deep sleep state we are experiencing the absence of the object. But where is the evidence of the anubhava of the Advaitam? Where is the evidence of Advaitam? Jagrati is Dvaitam. Swapna is Dvaitam. Sushupti also is Dvaitam because you are calling it as one of the three states. Even if you call it Andhakara, it is Dvaitam. The seer of the Andhakara, and the Andhakara becomes the Vishaya. Where is the evidence of the non-dual being? If you say after knowing the truth it will become evident, that is not right. Why? Because on the basis of what is evident you go for knowledge. You try to know what is evident, that is called knowing. After knowing truth doesn't become evident, but you come to know the truth on the basis of its evidence, self-evidence. Therefore Sushupti has to be understood, that understanding Sushupti correctly is understanding the truth. Because Sushupti is not one of the three states. Sushupti is being non-dual. It is a state of being non-dual. It is not a state of experiencing the presence of the object, nor is it a state of thought of the absence of the object. It is a state of being non-dual. And right there begins the sense of embodiment. That means it is the non-dual that looks embodied. It is the non-dual that is the material for the Jagat. It is the non-dual that is the material for the body, the mind and the Jagat. And it is the non-dual that is the material for the dream. And therefore, the deep sleep, it is important for a student of Vedanta to understand the deep sleep state as an anubhava, it is Advaita. It is Swarupa Anubhava. There is no thought. It is not a state of the thought of the absence. It is not a state of the experience of the absence. It is a state of being free from the thought. It is a state of being free from the. You don't think the absence of thought. That's wrong. You be without thought. That is called absence. It's only being without thought. You don't experience absence of thought. You experience only being without thought. A very subtle difference, Ji. Very subtle difference. When the wave falls, you call it absence of wave. Vedanta says it is presence of water. It is without being a wave. Jnanaswarupa Bhagavan Atma Tvam Prakritehe Paraha. You are beyond matter. You are beyond matter. Prakritehe Paraha. You are Bhagavan, you transcend matter. Prakriti se pare hai aap. You are not located in the Prakriti. Prakriti means the creation. Colloquially they call it nature, etc. I say nature means what? Matter. 5 elements is nature. Nature is creation. And what transcends nature is the truth. Because the truth is anadi, the error also is anadi, the creation is anadi. And what has been there independent of being created by human choice, it's called it naturally there, nature. The world is called nature because it is there without my having to create it. That's why it's nature. It's not human creation. Buildings are human creation. Plants and trees in the forest, this is all nature. Why? Because that's a part of creation. Nature, what man calls, a modern man calls nature, is nothing but creation. Why does he call it nature? Because it's not human creation. He finds himself with it. And therefore, please rise to the occasion in the context of the Shruti. Rise to the occasion in the context of the Shruti. Don't be indifferent. Don't make light of the Shruti. In fact, that is the only thing that you should not make light of. You can make light of everything in the world. Baki sab you can make light of. You can make light of everything. But you can't make light of the Shruti. Because that is the only thing which tells you the truth. Everybody else tells you lies. Usko follow, you will be happy. What is it? Lie or not, ji? It's a lie. Us ladki se shaadi karo, you will be happy. Absolute lie. Bombay mein settle ho jaye, you will be happy. Absolute lie. Because in this world, the only thing that tells you the truth is the Shruti. That's why Shruti is called the mother. Mother Shruti. And therefore, it is always better to have exposure to the Shruti. At least the Shruti goes inside. It is there in the form of... Whatever goes inside comes back in the form of reflection. Like whatever you eat gets digested, it contributes to the body. Similarly, whatever you hear contributes to your reflections, your knowledge, your maturity. In fact, the one thing that really adds to your growth is only Shruti. That tells the truth. And what is that? Jnanaswarupaha Bhagavan Atma Tvam Prakritehe Para. Next verse, ji. Gunai samveshtito dehaha Tishthatyayati yati cha Atmana ganta naganta Himena manushocasi. Gunaihi samveshtitaha. By the gunas, three gunas, sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. Understand, these three gunas, don't make a big issue out of the three gunas. The three temperaments, ji. One temperament is, sattva guna means the temperament to be aware of the objects, to know more about the objects. That is, one has the temperament to know more and more. Like you become a scholar empirically. Sattva makes you an empirical scholar. Rajoguna makes you ambitious. Tamoguna makes you sluggish. Everybody has got these three gunas. Everybody has got three gunas. And based on the predominance of these gunas, Bhagavan says there is a caste system. It's not a caste, it's a wrong word. There is a varna. Classification of the society on the basis of their temperaments. It's not classification of Indian society. It's classification of human society on the basis of three gunas. A man who is more interested in education, just by going to school it doesn't prove that he is interested in education. The one who shows interest in education is a sattvic man. The one who is full of ambitions is called a rajoguni. And the one who is indifferent in everything, more of lazy, is physically lazy, mentally lazy. He shirks physical activity, he shirks going to school also, he shirks learning things, he doesn't like learning things. He is called tamoguni. And ultimately he ends up saying, Chalo mai kuch ho thoda bahut. I'll just find out some menial job and survive. I'll serve somebody and survive. It's called tamoguni. It is there all over the human society. But what is this embodiment except these three G? Man is only these threefold temperaments. G. That's why he says the body is enveloped by three gunas. The body, mind, intellect, this embodiment, this body-mind complex embodiment is full of three gunas. Either you are absorbed in sattva guna or rajoguna or tamoguna. But even if you have sattva guna predominantly, you have rajoguna less predominantly, tamoguna least predominantly. But there is a kind of a ratio. Gunaihi samveshtitaha deha. But Swamiji, if a person has got predominantly sattva-guna, will he not become Brahma-jnani? No. Predominance of sattva-guna, sattvat sanjayate jnanam, means what? Empirical jnanam. You will go for more and more learning. Sattva-guna helps you to learn more and more. Sattva-guna by itself doesn't really make you a student of truth. If you have exposure to the Shruti already, if you have discovered the value of self-knowledge, if you are already a student of self-knowledge, then really improving your sattva-guna helps you to know the truth. Improving the sattva-guna is the need felt by a person who is already a student of the Shruti. But the next question is, that means sattva-guna doesn't convert you into a student of Shruti. Then what brings you to the Shruti is your age-old Nitya Karma. You might have offered prayer, some Nitya Karma. You must have offered prayer, Hey Bhagavan, give me the knowledge of that. Antahkarana Shuddhi, Jnana Siddhi, Vairagya Siddhi. This prayer I am offering Bhagavan for achieving Jnanam and Vairagyam. When you offer a prayer for Jnanam and Vairagyam, that is called Nitya Karma. Nitya Karma takes you to Shruti. And you, somehow or other, you stumble upon the exposure to the Shruti. How it happens, Bhagavan knows, the law of karma. Like how it happens, you are born into a given family. You find yourself. In life, you do nothing. You find yourself in different situations. Yes. You find in a situation, either you suffer or you enjoy it. And then afterwards, again you find yourself in another situation. Yes. Prarabdham. Therefore, here also, when a person has offered Nitya Karma, a lot of Nitya Karma in the past lives, as a result of Nitya Karma, you find yourself being exposed to the Shruti. And you find yourself liking it also. You find yourself attracted to it also. You find yourself interested in it. And therefore, a person becomes a student of truth when he offered prayers to the truth for Jnanam and Vairagya. It is perfectly logical. Prayer for Jnanam makes you a student of Jnanam. Prayer for Vairagyam gives you Vairagyam and you become a student of Jnanam. Sattva-guna itself doesn't transform you into a student. No, I don't think so. To improve the Sattva-guna, to increase one's Sattva-guna, to become more Sattvic, is a need felt by a person who is already a Jignasu, a student. How does he become a Jignasu? Nobody can answer this question. How does a person become Jignasu? And the Veda says, you become a student of truth. You become absorbed in finding out what the truth is, what this life is, what this death is, what this Shruti says, only as a result of Nitya Karma. That is what the Veda says. I see the reasoning in it. Because even to find oneself in a happy situation, you must have done some Punya Karma. To find yourself in a rich situation, you must have done some Punya Karma. Punya Karma, which is called Prarabdham. And if you find yourself as a student of Vedanta, you must have done some Nitya Karma. One is Punya Karma. Punya Karma makes you find yourself in a very comfortable situation. Physically, you find yourself born into a rich family and enjoying with a silver spoon in your mouth. You find yourself. You don't look for a silver spoon. You find yourself with the spoon. That is called the result of Punya Karma. And if you find yourself with Vairagyam and interest, you find yourself as a different person. What is all this? You find yourself, that means with interest in the truth, with Jijnasa, with Vairagyam, with less interested mundanely, with less mundane interests, with more inquisitiveness about what transcends the physical, what is behind the physical, what is behind the thinking, what is behind the form. And somehow or other, as a result of that very Nitya Karma, he finds himself with intelligence also to use, to know the truth. He finds himself with the proper intelligence. Therefore, I find Nitya Karma is what is always Punya Karma Nitya karma. They are in karma kanda. I think that's right. Prayer for vairagyam, prayer for jnanam, one day will convert you into a jignasu. And prayer for comfort, etc., good karma, that's called punya karma. If you distribute blankets, what is it? Punya karma. And then along with that blankets, if you say, Bhagavan, this is my prayer to you, I want only jnanam and vairagya, sankalpa. Karma being the same, your sankalpa makes it either punya karma or nitya karma. Yes, your sankalpa. That is why when a havan is performed, the priest always tells, साहब जी, यजमान जी, आइए संकल्प लेके उसके बाद ऑफिस जाइए, बाकी हम कर लेंगे. Is it not? Can you go to office without doing the sankalpa? No, you have to take sankalpa. जिसके लिए आप हवन कर रहे हैं, उसका संकल्प करना है. उस समय आप थोड़ी कहेंगे हमको ज्ञान चाहिए, वैराग्य चाहिए. You will always say, आयुर आरोग्य सिद्ध्यर्थम, धन धान्याभिवृद्धि समृद्ध्यर्थम, धन समृद्ध्यर्थम, धान्य समृद्ध्यर्थम. Like this you have to say, and the priest himself writes it in Sanskrit. Even if there is a problem, health problem, he will write it, and he will make the yajamana recite it in Sanskrit. Say it in Sanskrit. Can't we take sankalpa in Hindi? You can take sankalpa in Hindi, but generally havan is done in Sanskrit. So this convention of taking sankalpa in Sanskrit is there, but I think truth understands every language. And therefore if a person takes sankalpa freely in the language that he knows, it's all right. Hey Bhagavan, I am doing this havan for the health of my children. Does it work, Swamiji? Of course it works. Any prayer works, because it is within the law of karma. Similarly, it will come back as a result sometime. No prayer goes waste. Every prayer does bring its result. But the prayer only brings you the result, whatever result you asked for in your sankalpa. Ye yathamam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajamyaham. That is the beautiful verse which says, जिस संकल्प से आप हमको प्रार्थना करते हैं, उस संकल्प उसको देके मैं आपको ब्लेस करता हूं. भगवान से you always get what you cherish in your prayers. What you cherish in your prayers is called cherishing. If you cherish outside the prayer, it is a jiva's cherishing. Say to Bhagavan, hey Bhagavan, you are listening to my thoughts, you are listening to my prayer, please give me this. And what you cherish in your prayers will materialize one day. Therefore, punya karma, you find yourself in a comfortable position. That's what is called gaining the result. Every result you find yourself with. Sukham you find yourself with. Dukkham you find yourself with. Born you find yourself with. Even marriages, even though we say love marriage, aisa kuch nahi. You find yourself loving that person. Bas aur kuch nahi hai. Otherwise, how did you find yourself loving only that joker, not somebody that joker? That is because, that is the prarabdham, that is the result. Maybe in his company you are supposed to be very happy. Supposing you have the prarabdham to be very happy, then you fall in love with a right person. Anyway, all the results of your punya karma come to you, even though we make that statement. It should be understood, you find yourself with. Similarly, Nitya Karma brings you the result, means you find yourself with Vairagyam, you find yourself with reflection, you find yourself being exposed to the Shruti. How does it happen? This is the law of karma. Nitya karma also is governed by the law of karma. Nitya karma brings me jnanam and vairagyam. No, hota hai. Therefore, gunai samveshtito deha. Now, what I was telling is, mere sattvic guna doesn't make you a student of truth, is all. Even if I tell you, even if you are supposing sometimes you go to the temple every day, a punya karma need not make you. Punya karma need not make you a student of truth. Every day you perform havan, it need not make you a student of truth. But if you do havan as a nitya karma, like Agnihotra, as a nitya karma, daily prayer for jnanam and vairag, that sankalpa, then maybe in time it will transform you into a student of truth. And therefore, don't make a big issue out of satoguna, rajoguna, tamoguna. Say they're all just traits, mental traits. And you don't have to say if a person is ambitious, he is a rajoguni. Don't label people also, because all the three gunas everybody has. Either he is ajignasu, non-jignasu, or he is a jignasu. Bas. If he is a non-jignasu and what he is, in what situation he is, it makes no difference. A pebble is limited, a mountain is limited, the earth is limited. If it is limited, then I don't care what it is. If it is earth, so what? It's limited. Even if it is the whole universe, so what? It is still limited. It doesn't extend to the truth. It is an appearance in the truth. It doesn't become an adjective of the truth. Therefore, as long as it is limited, what it is, who cares? As long as a person is not a student of truth, student of Vedanta, then what he is, whether he is a doctor or an engineer, rich or poor, man, woman, comfortable or uncomfortable, is well-to-do, not well-to-do, healthy, not healthy, makes hardly any difference. I don't really, to me it hardly matters. But if a person is a student of truth, it's great, because to think about one's existence is a very big thing. Gunaihi samveshtito deha tishtati. This deha is surrounded by the three gunas. Ayati yati cha, it goes and comes, the body goes and comes, it is mobile. Body aati hai, jati hai, body appears, disappears. Wo bhi aati, ayati, yati. In fact, the fundamental coming and going is nothing but appearance and disappearance. Vedavyasa always thinks in terms of appearance and disappearance. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparanamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati. These changes are all yaska paripaditas. There was a logician who was yaska, who indulged in that matter has got sixfold changes. A child is born, and not stillborn, but is alive. That's called asti. Or in the stomach, in the womb of the mother, the child is asti. Jayate is born. Then vardhate grows. Viparanimate, metamorphosis. Means major changes he goes through. Vardate viparinamati. Then slowly declines. Then he dies. These are the changes. Yaska thinks in terms of sixfold changes in man. Whereas Vedavyasa says, shut up. There are only three. You appear and continue to appear for some time, sthiti, and disappear. As an individual, the body appears and disappears. The mind appears and disappears. Sthiti is only aupacharika. Kahan sthiti hai ji? Appears, disappears. A man for a few seconds he got up and again went to sleep into Rasai. Like that. You appear as an individual and again disappear. Srishti, Sthiti, Laya are the three changes that Vedavyasa accepts. Whereas Asti, Jayate, Vardate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyati, these are the Shat Bhava Vikaras. Shat means sixfold changes. These sixfold changes are within the three. Yes. The six are within the three. To appear and disappear. And within the Sthiti Kala you have Yaska Paripatita Parinamas. Yaska's six changes are within the Sthiti Kala. Or I can say all the six are within the three. Therefore Vedavyasa, Yaska's thinking is very empirical. Yaska's thinking is very, very empirical. Because he was a logician. Whereas Vedavyasa was a rishi, sage. He was only thinking. There are only three changes. Appearance of the universe in the truth. Sthiti of the universe in the truth. And Laya. During Sthiti Kala you have got the other sixfold changes. It's nothing. Yaska only says it dies. He doesn't talk about the Laya in the truth. Whereas Yaska says, Vedavyasa says, the universe appears in the truth, stays in the truth, disappears in the truth. For a Jignasu, he should think only of Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. That is the right way of understanding the Jagat. It appears to me. In fact, the universe only appears. It appears to my sense, it appears to me. What appears to the me is called appearance. What else is the appearance, Ji? It is a form because it appears to me. The colors appear to me. The touches appear to me. All perceptions are appearance. They present themselves to me. दिखता है, जो दिखता है वही दृश्य है. दिखता है तभी देखने वाला हो तो therefore it appears to me. The one to whom the universe appears, that conscious being doesn't appear to another conscious being. ऐसा नहीं. The seer is fundamental. The seer is not seen by another seer. It's meaningless. If you are a theologian, you will say there is God is seeing this. ऐसा कुछ नहीं. The very seer sees what the seer thinks. When you think, you not only think, but you also see what you think. You don't require another seer. Ji. When you think wrong, you also see, you not only think wrong, but you also see the wrong thinking. That is witnessing. Therefore, in order to witness what you think, you don't need another seer. another witness, because you are both the thinker and also the witness. That's why it's all automatic. You cannot think wrong. You can't hide your wrong thought from the truth. Do you follow what I am telling? You can never hide a wrong thought from the truth. You can never hide a wrong. You can never hide a lie from the truth. It's not possible. Why? Swamiji thinking nobody is seeing. The truth is seeing. The truth is seeing. Because the very thinker also registers what is. And therefore, when you think rightly, you also register the thinking. You also witness. And that can dictate your happiness also. Yes. Atmana gantana aganta. The body goes and comes. Meaning it appears and disappears. Even mobility is within the 3G. Remember this. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati. These Shadbhava Vikaras are within Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. Therefore, even the mobility, physical mobility is within Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. Now, Bhagavan says here, Atma na ganta na aganta, means neither it is asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, it is eternally asti. And it doesn't go and come, there is no mobility, it always is. It doesn't have even the mobility of appearing and disappearing. It doesn't have the mobility of Shadbhava Vikaras. It doesn't have any change. It doesn't have the physical mobility in space. It doesn't have even the kind of mobility called appearing and disappearing. In that sense, Atma na ganta, na jata hai, na aganta, na ata hai. It always is. It is. Like the space doesn't go and come in space. The space, relatively speaking, space is. Therefore, space is a very good example. In fact, you can understand what is being by the examples of, in fact, Vedanta uses the examples of space, examples of mountains. Parvataha tishtanti. Very beautiful, like a mountain is. Your existence also is. Your activity is in the realm of your being. Your activity is not an attribute of your being. It is an appearance in your being. It is dreamt. Kimenam anushochasi. Why are you unnecessarily depressed? For what? Body to jana hai, ana hai. It has to move about. And the body has to appear and disappear. And it has to have yaskas changes also. It has to change. It has to move. And it has to appear and disappear. Now you have it, you better use the intelligence to think of what is contrary to appearance and disappearance. Why are you getting depressed? What problem are you going to solve through your depression? Therefore, no psychiatrist can handle your depression, but you can handle. You can shake it off by sheer understanding, the right exposure, the right thinking. You can shake off your depression. Depression for what? Why are you getting depressed? Always cheer up yourself and use life to understand the unlimited. I don't have to think about the limited anyway. By thinking about the limited, it is not going to become unlimited. The limited will remain limited no matter how much I get depressed over it, or how much I get elated about it. Things will not change, they will remain the things. And therefore, if there is something that I need to think, is only the unlimited. I don't have to think about the objects because the objects can trigger depressions. Objects can trigger elations. Objects can trigger emotions. Objects can trigger a lot of problems. Objects can trigger loneliness. You think of your children in America, you feel lonely. I say you are always alone, Ji. You are a non-dual, that is the truth. In the dream you are alone. In the waking you are alone. In all your experiences you are alone. Even in your depression you are alone. And therefore, aloneness or non-dualness is a fact about our being. Company, the craving for company, is in the era. It is a part of misconception. Otherwise, Advaitam is our nature to be. In the deep sleep state, you are alone. You are dreaming alone. You are not dreaming along with the company. You are in the waking state also alone. Therefore, kimena manushochasi. Don't look depressed. Don't feel depressed. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.